Clawgrass is the title of an album. It was the first album that I ever recorded with the Rice brothers, Tony Rice and Larry, Wyatt and Ronnie Rice, and some other friends too, Tuck Tucker and Jason Thomas, Tammy Murray, mostly all bluegrass players. And the reason why that album came about was I moved to Crystal River, Florida, and not to work at a job at a power plant, not knowing that the entire Rice family lived at the power plant, or worked and lived in the area. And we were living at long hours. So anyway, I played a lot of clawhammer back then and a lot of bluegrass, and the Rice brothers who were working there brought me home and said, "What are you doing? It sounds so different." And so the two guitar players in Crystal River, Florida, from about 1984, 85 to 1993 were Tony Rice and Wyatt Rice. And it was during that whole renaissance of the Rice brothers, Tony Rice's volumes and stuff. Well, when he moved back there in 1985, he really just took me under his wing. I don't know how to put it. And I used to think I played old time banjo because I played clawhammer, because I learned from a great fiddler, Jay Ungar and John Cohen, because I grew up in the New York Hudson Valley, but I moved south really quickly. So I found out that you can't play clawhammer, just regular pattern clawhammer, with guys like Tony Rice in duet form. You have to be able to adjust your style in order to complement what they were doing, and how to learn to play backup, and how to play dynamically, how to get in and out, know when to come in and out, do call and response. And that's when I first started learning how to adjust basic clawhammer styles to a different time signature, many different time signatures, and started understanding playing in bluegrass ensemble, knowing how to play against different instruments, when not to play, how to play. Like if a mandolin steps up and takes a break, you're not just going to keep framming away on the banjo. You're going to kind of mute your strings and give them a backbeat chop so they've got a rhythm to work with. Or when you're working with a guitar player or a mandolin player, like we're the great Emory Lester, it's that intimate thing where you learn how to play melodies and counter melodies, and knowing how to play backup, and knowing how to work dynamics with your volume in and out, and how to play at speed, how to play slow. Playing slow is probably the most fantastic thing, because and what I wound up doing was, without even knowing it, it was all accidental. I just started, when you hear a guitar player, a really good guitar player, play like that acoustically, there's a lot of sustain in their music, especially if they're playing really slow, beautiful stuff. So I would learn how to sustain on my banjo. And I came to realize that there's so much music in between the notes that you play. Bill Emerson once told me that you cannot, a banjo's not being played correctly unless it's ringing. It has to be ringing. But you can make a banjo ring fast and loud. You can make a banjo ring dead slow, and just deal with that beautiful air in between the notes where the banjo's ringing through to the next phrase that you're going to create. So all this kind of thinking came into my playing, and playing with these amazing musicians, and they kept wanting to play with me. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why. But I think what I was doing, they were hearing me compliment what they were doing in their playing. So am I doing anything different? I'm using basic clawhammer techniques, but I'm reapplying them in different ways to work in ensemble, 5-piece band, bluegrass bands. You can play blues, you can play swing music, using, like for instance, when I teach building foundation blocks. I teach how to you learn how to frail a banjo. We say, "Oh, frailing is so simple." No, it's not. It's core, and it's foundational, because some of the most advanced stuff that I play, I'm doing a lot of double stops. Basically, it's just a frailing, brush, thumb, but I'm just hitting it all up and down the neck, and I play pairs of strings. I catch them on the strings up high of the neck and just get these harmonies going. And then the note brush thumb, that's old timey. That's melody, where you play the melody with your index finger. The drop thumb, of course. And then I started learning how to do roll patterns. Like on bluegrass, you got a basic roll pattern. Couldn't try back. In a modal tuning, which I always thought clinch mount backstep sounded great in modal tuning like that. You got that open note. So you do it in Clawgrass. Just like you do in bluegrass. So the roll patterns are real simple downstrokes, like a 2-3-1-5. And backward rolls forward, just like a bluegrass. You got thumb alternating roll patterns, but you do them with your fingers. So I wound up playing 3-finger claw hammer, and that's all accidental. It's absolutely accidental, just stumbled on it. So that's, people say, why sometimes people would say, that's pretty arrogant, you created your own style. I didn't create anything. I just kind of came into this accidentally. I got discovered by the Rice brothers, and then the whole thing took off. The album started getting really strong reviews, magazine articles, and radio shows, and appearances at IBMA, showcasing and all that stuff, and it just kept leading to everything. It led to meeting great bluegrass players, great old time players. Emory Lester came after the Rice brothers, and he took me under his wing. He's a monster musician, and he had a completely familiar approach to the way I was playing. And that's why we glued together, because he understood what the Rices did, and he heard it in my playing, and I heard it in his playing. So it's all accidental. The people that were writing about it and being interviewed, all the interview stuff, they didn't know what to call it. So they called it Clawgrass after the first album. So that's how it came about. That's all.